Welcome to 2020's Hell in a Cell. Now, before I get started, I want to say this. I'm not going to leave this for the end of the review, but I want to say this right now. For the few people who have left comments on my video and give me their feelings, thank you. Taking away from people seeing my video, which is an amazing thing, because there's over 100 right now, counting if it doesn't get cut in half by the YouTube algorithm. I thank you for showing compassion. You guys know what happened. I had a loss in family. And hearing at least one or two people saying, hey, it'll be okay, bro. That means a lot to me. And I say this for anyone who's suffering right now because of what's going on in the world. I understand with stress and anxiety, depression will get you. I love you. I know I don't need to say it, but I say it because I care. This is legitimately the type of person I am. I love you. So, taking away from that, I'm freaking hot right now. I'm angry. This show was the stupidest I have ever seen. Now, mind you, I'm not saying it's stupid because all the matches were bad. No. I'm saying it's stupid because of where the matches were. And one match that didn't even need to happen. That's stupid. I didn't look at the kickoff show, so I don't know what happened there. So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't watch it. Now, not going in order. So, first match I'm going to talk about is Elias versus Jeff. No stakes, no title, and supposedly Elias is angry at Jeff because he thinks that he's the one who hit him when it's already been proven that Sheamus is the one who caused the situation. And instead of bringing Elias back to deal with Sheamus, which would make better sense than Elias dealing with Jeff, they now have Elias with Jeff. And from what I understand last week, Elias nails Jeff with a guitar. In this situation, Elias gets nailed by his own I think I got a shot of it. It's in my face. Clearly, Jeff DQs the match to nail Elias. This was a stupid match. It didn't even need to be on the card. I don't care. Next match. Otis versus The Miz. Now, I understand that Law and Otis that happened this SmackDown was actually pretty good. Now, I didn't see it myself. I've seen a few highlights of it. Great. It's good to see at least they have some level of creativity. It's good to see JBL as the judge. It's good to see that we had our bailiff. Damn! Ron Simmons. Maybe I should repeat myself again. Make my voice really good. Damn! There's Ron Simmons. It was good to see that. Had happened on SmackDown. They have a little more better creativity. But when it comes to this match, for the Money in the Bank, why? I can understand if they want to take it off of Otis, put it on The Miz. I'm not fond of it because The Miz has been very boring as a heel. I'm sorry. There are certain points The Miz has been hot as a heel. This has not been it. Him and John Morrison suck. But I don't care if it's Bruce Pritchard. I don't care if it's Vince McMahon. You split up heavy machinery. And I botched my words because I'm angry. You literally break up heavy machinery so you can do a run with Otis, dealing with Mandy Rose, dealing with Sonya Deville, dealing with Dolph Ziggler. You break up heavy machinery when you have very few tag teams. And now, you kind of bring both Otis and Tucker back together, where it would seem like, well, you only have 3 teams on Raw, 3 teams on SmackDown. There's almost nothing there. Putting heavy machinery back together would make some sense. No. You now have The Miz convincing Tucker that Otis is garbage, and now you have Tucker attack Otis. And now you're going to have a feud between 2 guys that you desperately need in your tag division because you barely have anyone to work with. This was stupid. I don't care if anybody wants to see Tucker against Otis in an actual feud. You have 6 tag teams. On SmackDown and on Raw, you don't have none of the tag teams in NXT coming to SmackDown, coming to Raw. You do not merge the titles. So it will make it easier to have 6 teams for one championship, which is the tag titles. Nothing. So now you have this. And it's not the point if you like Otis or Tucker, you need tag teams. And this was stupid. This was stupid. I hated it. Now, the U.S. title was defended. You got Lashley from the Hurt Business going against Slapjack. I don't know who the guy is at Slapjack. You guys can tell me, because since I haven't been watching NXT much, I don't recognize him. I recognize Mia Yim. I recognize the guy who did Rollout with Xavier Woods, with the guy who does the Shogun. I recognize him. He did Rollout on Up, Up, Down, Down. I recognize it. I recognize his bill. He seemed to be one hell of a character wearing that stupid mask. But I don't know who Slapnuts. I mean, not Slapnuts, Slapjack. But it is Slapnuts because that's what it means. I didn't care. You had something with Retribution. I'm not Retribution. You see the guy in my face. You see Mustafa Ali. Instead of giving him something to work with, you now have him jobbing to the Hurt Business. His team jobbing to the Hurt Business. This is stupid. I feel sorry for Mustafa Ali. They gave him something that was throwaway that could have meant something, and it means nothing. Next. Breathe. Now, we had the match that made no damn sense. And I know people can say, dude, it did make sense. No, it didn't. You have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, which was the worst match of the night. Not because of the quality of the match, but because it should never happened. Look, you got Randy Orton, who's been jobbing a lot lately. Now, mind you, it's good to see Randy jobbing to people because sometimes they need to be put over. You don't have Edge. It's understandable. Edge is not there. But when it comes down to it, Randy Orton should have had the title already at the last pay-per-view. It should have happened. And it did not happen. And I felt like this was a big waste of time. Why would you have him going to Hell in a Cell finally to win when he should have already won the WWE title? It just didn't make any damn sense. It didn't make any sense. It was stupid from the very beginning that they would not let him just win the damn title and let Drew actually have to chase after him, because he's better being chased after than actually being the chaser. At this stage in his career, if he was the Legend Killer, this would be something different. But he is not the Legend Killer. He is the older veteran. And he's better chasing somebody than he is actually... No, not chasing somebody. Better being the champ than chasing somebody as a Legend Killer. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of hot here. This match pissed my ass off to the point I was so frustrated. And I'm not going to lie, I have not been sleeping very good. I was frustrated. I didn't really want to pay much attention. I actually fell asleep for a couple of minutes while the match was going on. And it doesn't mean the match was bad. Yes, even though it's predictable, particularly the same spot that we've been seeing over and over again when they climb to the side of the cage because they found a way to get out of the cage. They climb to the side of the cage. And then one of them falls onto the table of the commentators. Look, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins did it. The Undertaker as well as the Shane McMahon did it. Now you have this match. And I'm only bringing them up because they're supposed to be memorable. And they were memorable. But for me personally, this was not memorable. This was a repeat of those two matches. The difference is that Randy Orton should have already been champ. If he had to go into Hell in a Cell, he should have been champ going into Hell in a Cell, not actually going to become champ. I do not agree with it. It is stupid. Next. Second best match of the night. In fact, if this Hell in a Cell didn't have the match of the night, this should have closed the show. Bayley versus Sasha for the Women's SmackDown Championship. Nothing about the Raw, unless I fell asleep again, which I could have. It's raining here and I can fall asleep. I'm sorry. There's no Asuka, which I was kind of surprised. It was Bayley and Sasha. Now, was the match bad? Hell no, it was not. It was a damn great match. Now, here's the thing for me personally. I'm not taking anything away from the match. It was second best match of the night. The story was still very good, particularly that they flipped it on its side. Instead of being Sasha as a heel and Bayley as a face, it got Bayley as a heel and Sasha as a face, which was a nice touch. But I'm not going to lie here, guys. One major problem with this should have happened 3 years ago. And it didn't need to have Hell in a Cell. This should have been something entirely separate. These 3 years ago should have had culminated in this type of feud for title at WrestleMania back then, but they refused to do it. They basically made these women wait 3 straight years before they finally gave them the match they both deserve at Hell in a Cell, which should have happened at Survivor Series. This match should have happened at Survivor Series. Hell, if you still needed a Hell in a Cell match, you could have thrown it on Survivor Series. Then it would have been more important because it would have been on a signature pay-per-view. No, we get it here at Hell in a Cell, more of a throwaway show than it is anything else. And this match was a great damn match. I'm not taking nothing from it. It was very emotional. It was very physical. One point, seeing Sasha being flipped backwards by Bayley into a steel chair that has been propped between the 2 turnbuckles of the third and second one. It was impactful. It made you worry if she might have gotten a real concussion. That shows you how well it was done. In the end, Sasha wins. Now, 2 things for me. The first one is, hopefully, are both these women okay? Because this was a very brutal match. That's what I worry about with these 2 women. I'm worried. This was very brutal in certain parts. So I'm hoping it's alright with Sasha, particularly with Sasha after getting her head knocked into that steel chair. The second one, which is going to be the major issue for me. How long is Sasha going to keep the title? It's not about Bayley. She did 380 days. 380 days. You saw how my poster just moved. I don't like doing that. That kind of happens. But 380 days. She's done a damn great job as a heel. No one expected her to get a heel run that was so good. And it was damn good. But this is not about Bayley. This is about Sasha. How long is she supposed to carry that title? How long is she supposed to keep that strap? Because she has a tendency. Because they never let her keep it long. 2 weeks? 3? 1 time a month? This is the question. How long is she going to keep it before either Bayley's going to get it back or Sasha's going to job to someone on the SmackDown roster? What do you guys think? You guys tell me below. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not saying this is going to be great for Sasha because I do believe they're going to make a job quickly. Flat out quick. That's what I believe. That's it. And to state this should have been the opening of the show. If it wasn't the only Hell in a Cell, it should have been the only Hell in a Cell for the entire show, and this should have closed it. But it was with 3 matches. It had to open. Now, best match of the night, which it should have been by itself. This could have also been the only match of Hell in a Cell, and it should have been. But if you had to have 2 Hell in a Cell matches, which it should have been, Sasha and Bayley opening, which would have made the crowds fuming, hot, really anxious to see how far this was going to go into Hell in a Cell, this pay-per-view. And what should have closed was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. This was the strongest story, and I'm not taking anything away from Sasha and Bayley. This was the strongest story WWE's had in over a year. Over a year. No one else has had it this hot. Making it this important. Alpha and Sika. Roman Reigns' actual dad was there. That was important. Seeing Jimmy Uso having to be involved in this was important. Seeing how they structured this match, that I quit was the only way this was going to get done. And originally, they changed it around because originally this was about if Roman wins. Jay and Jimmy were out of the family. They don't have a name, their families are not connected, nothing. But before this happened, it came down to Paul Heyman saying clearly, things are going to be different. It's not going to be about them being removed from the family. You're going to have Jay having to be servitude to Roman. He's going to have to be his servant, in a sense, his slave. He's going to have to do whatever the hell he's told to do if he wants to stay in the family. So this was even greater stakes than just having the Universal title. This was about two brothers. It doesn't matter if they're cousins. They're brothers. And one of them will be the servant of the other brother. Flat out, he's going to have to do whatever the hell he's told to damn do. This had great stakes. This was hype. This was hot. And it should have ended the show, not opened it. Seeing Jay have to struggle but then fight hard and being a freaking beast, refusing to back down, fighting tooth and freaking nail, but knowing full well he wasn't going to survive this. We knew he wasn't going to win. But still, the way they structured this match, it was damn good that he knew how to edge this up. We never knew how good Jay or Jimmy could be on their own. Jay has proven he could be a main eventer. He's proven it here by his performance that he made at one point when he got the strap from under the ring. He said, you know what? You never jobbed ever. F that shit. You're going to get your ass whooped. You're going to job today. And he made it mean something. And at one point, when Jay finally couldn't do it no more, and when it came to Roman whooping his ass and then taking steel steps, the aluminum steps, I'm just saying it, and he propped it up and whacked his head into it, and the ref said, stop, I gotta call it. And then Roman grabs the ref, and he says, I gotta call this your cousin, he's out. He can't say I quit. He is freaking out. Roman is irate because he cannot stand that Jay was not functional enough to do his job, which was to say I quit. The ref gets frozen out of the ring, and he's just damn mad. Then they open up the cage, and then everyone comes in. Jimmy doesn't come in immediately, but everyone else comes in to say, look, he is out. You can see him. He drags him to the middle of the ring. He is still out. He's not moving. He's blank. And unlike Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins, this made sense for him to be wiped out. Total sense. And Roman is just so tired of this, he starts whooping everybody's asses, and then he starts hitting everybody. And then he goes and grabs the steel steps, puts it over his neck of a Jey Uso and says, you're going to have to pay now. You didn't do what I wanted. You didn't do what needed to be done. Now you're going to pay the consequences. And he takes those steps. He's about to ram it directly into his skull. And Jimmy comes in and is screaming at him, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? This is your family. And to Roman Reigns' credit, to Joe Anoa'i, he did a great job in acting. And I'm not saying he's a perfect actor. He did a good job making this feel emotional. Being upset about this. Having to want to hurt him. He didn't want it. He kept saying throughout the entire match, just do this. Why are you doing this? Just do what I want. Do what needs for our family. And he starts to cry in front of Jimmy. Now, admittedly, I did not get a chance to see what had happened when Jimmy was put into a triangle choke. I could not see it because the stream dropped. And I kept trying to find a stream that would work, and it would not work. I had to see the highlight. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I finish this video and I edit it, I'm going to go and see that last scene. Because that scene I know has to be that important. But still, once I managed to get the stream back, Jay said I quit. I figured once I saw Jimmy there, he did it for him. Because I'm sure Roman was going to make Jimmy the subject of his rage and use that to make Jay say, I quit. Then I saw Alpha and Sika up the ramp. You know who would have been best to be there along with that? Guess who? Rikishi should have been there. Rikishi should have been there. That would have made it perfect. Because if Rikishi had been there, that would have really made it ram straight home. That if Rikishi's there and he hugs... Sorry. You see how angry I am? Because that's how it should have ended. This should have ended the show. That Alpha, I believe that is Roman's dad, was there. And Rikishi had to be there as well. If both of them had been there, both of them had no choice but to be there and congratulate Roman, give him the, I forgot the name of it, the lei around his neck and say, you're the chief. And it is Rikishi who had to accept it because his kids, his sons, failed to capture the title. Well, one of his kids failed to capture the title. That would have been more impactful. This is what should have ended the damn show. Not Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. It was not necessary. And if anybody thinks it was necessary, it was stupid. This was the most stupidest ending to the show. This was dumb. This was not a great show. But it's not because the matches were bad. It's because WWE and Vince McMahon had to do whatever he needed to make sure Raw was the key. And Raw has not been the key because Raw's ratings are near 1.6, 1.7. And SmackDown is holding it too. And instead of you focusing on SmackDown, knowing full well SmackDown is more important because it's got the better ratings when it's not put on FX2 from ESPN and Fox. He should have focused on that show to make it the must-see instead of freaking Raw where he thinks that's the most must-see and is fucking stupid. I'm angry. Anybody else, if they say this was the greatest show, more power to you, but to be honest, it's stupid. Because Roman should have closed the store with Jimmy and Jay. Alpha and Sika should have closed the store, the show. Should have closed that shit, and it didn't. And for me, I'm freaking pissed. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.